Hey there, everybody. This is Jandor bringing you another replay in my Learn to Play series, Learnin the Ropes series. Today, going to be playing the Witch Doctor. At least I'm pretty sure it's the Witch Doctor. Let's skip through. We got an all-pick situation here. This was me on just
Don't suppose he's got a registration
randomly
for that
queuing up.
genuine army carbine.
Yeah, I just sort of randomly queued up this game, with a bunch of strangers. We're going to go ahead and go to player perspective, and me. Huh. There we go. So,
Better
like
get
I said,
ready.
I played a Witch Doctor this game, and it was pretty legit. I think overall, I like playing Witch Doctor a lot. He's a really good support. He's actually surprisingly dangerous even in like the mid lane. I've lost to him in mid, which I'm not proud of, but what can you say? And he's got a pretty interesting set of skills. I don't know. He's a pretty good support,
30
and
seconds
he
to
can get
showtime.
a lot of kills. Like depending on how you play him and how the game goes. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of his skills, and then I'll talk about my starting items. So he has Paralyzing Cask. This is his first skill, his Q. Paralyzing Cask is pretty is neat. So what it does is you throw it. It's got a decent range. It creates a mini stun. Which lasts about 1 second,
And they're off.
then it stuns creeps for 5 seconds, but who cares? And then it bounces, and at the first level it bounces 2, and then it goes up to 8 bounces, and it deals minor damage each time it bounces. The big
No
trick
more
is
bets,
like
please.
in a team fight, you can drop this, and it bounces around the enemies, and it stuns them, which can startle them out of channeled abilities. It can stop them from auto-attacking, and it just provides an interesting stun, and it's kind of an area stun too. His other abilities are Voodoo Restoration. Usually you skill this last. What it does is it costs a certain amount of mana per second, and it costs a little bit of mana to first start it. Oh, okay. Now hold on. I got to show you guys this. So, before I go back into his skills, I'm going bot with Alina, who I told basically to play carry. And these guys fucking dove us so hard. Tri-lane over here. They had a Huskar, Tiny, and Nature's Prophet. I'm running away, right? So you can see, I'm not even watching my character. I'm just trying to run away here. I managed to sell up. Let's watch that again, because this is hysterical. All right, I'm gonna come back about 30 seconds, because this is worth watching. So I'm going bottom with Lena, and our lineup is kind of interesting. We had an Alchemist who really wanted to go mid, so I figured, all right, we got to carry Alchemist. I think I either randomed or I picked Witch Doctor for that reason. We had Alina, we had a Brood Mother, and we had a Zeus who would normally go mid, but we sent the Zeus top with the Brood Mother. It was a weird laning situation, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play support here, and I'm gonna have Lena basically play kind of a carry role. I don't know why I'm on fire. That's pretty hilarious. I think that might be a glitch. Anyway, so
Invisibility.
I'm playing the Witch Doctor here, and I figured, I was like, Lena, go ahead and get the last hits in the lane, and we'll do it. I dropped my ward in the jungle. I'm wandering around here. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hang out, wait for the creep wave to come in. Apparently there was an invisible Nature's Prophet, must have been with the rune, who wandered into the jungle to surround. We come up towards the lane, and suddenly here's a Huskar, here's a Tiny, here's a Nature's Prophet. They all start attacking. Huskar's throwing burning blades at me, and I'm like, all right, get the hell back to tower, all right? I eat a tango. Huskar is still chomping his burning blades. Lena drops a Dragon Slave. Huskar leaps. Oh no, got thrown by the Tiny. That's what happened. I was like, how the fuck is Huskar leaping? Gets thrown by the Tiny, gets killed by the tower. Tiny's chasing me. Lena's still rolling down here, throwing damage on the Tiny. I'm running away like tangoing up, taking burning damage and shit. Like I don't know how I'm alive. And then I decided, I'm like, oh right, I've got to salve. So I start salving up, running away from this Tiny who's actually faster than I am, but somehow isn't catching up to me. Don't ask me how that happened, friends. But I managed to escape. I full heal up, and then we start going, and I'm like, oh, screw it. Let's go for the Tiny again. Alina's been dealing damage to Nature's Prophet this whole time, meanwhile, and they've accomplished jack all except getting first blood to, I believe, to Alina. Good. Alina gets first
Radiant's
blood.
bottom tower
Tiny
ain't
goes
a pretty
ahead
sight
and
right now.
eats a tree, and I'm pretty sure, yeah. If he had hit that Dragon Slave, he might have killed the Tiny, but that was that was a skill shot right there. That was a tough one to get because Tiny was moving. It can be tough to
Radiant's
land those.
bottom tower seen better days.
Then their creeps are pushing in on the tower, and we're like, what the hell? So at this point, we're all just kind of like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what just happened. Nature's Prophet died to a neutral. I forgot about that. So not only did their gank not work at all, they lost the Huskar and their Nature's Prophet died to a neutral. And at this point, I'm like, all right, we got some tryhards, we got some people wanting to the game real hard here. So let's just do this. And I just like started harassing the crap out of this lane. So since I was playing support, what I generally like to do playing support is, I buy courier, I buy wards, I try to get us vision. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. One of the things I started doing is keeping my wards and just using one for the lane early, and then when that one wears off, using the other one, as opposed to trying to drop both at once. Not sure if that's the best decision, but yeah, the reason I like to drop it here is it gives us vision of the ward, of the rune, and it gives us vision of our jungle in case they're sweeping around to gank. It's a pretty nice spot for a ward, to be honest. It's good, gives good vision, gives you some flexibility. Back to Witch Doctor's skills. So the old WD here has, like I said, Paralyzing Cask. Now Voodoo Restoration heals in a tick, right? So every second it heals 16, 24, 32, 40 health, and it costs you per second 8, 12, 16, 20 mana per second, plus an initial mana cost when you activate it. This can drain your mana real fast. You have, decent intelligence, and you have decent intelligence gain, but, that just burns through your mana like crazy quick. So you got to be careful doing that, which is one of the reasons why I leave it to later on, or maybe get like a point in it if we're kind of feeling harassed in the lane and want to be able to heal up a little bit. But the problem is like, if you run out of mana, you don't have any, you can't drop your Voodoo, your Paralyzing Cask, and you can't drop Maledict, which is his third skill. Witch Doctor doesn't have a passive, by the way. So Maledict causes all enemy heroes in an area curses all enemy heroes in an area, causing them to take damage every 4 seconds. And it adds bonus damage for every 100 hit points lost since the curse began. So you drop this at the beginning of a fight, try to get guys, or try to, it can deal a surprising amount of damage.
Denied.
It's kind of shocking. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but if you're dropping hits on them, or you're taking, or they're taking damage while this is happening, yeah, we dropped the cask here, hoping to go, but the Lina was just a little bit too far back, and they were a little bit too close to the tower for that to be safe. And honestly, I was more interested in just harassing them back than I was in necessarily getting the kill. Obviously, getting the kill would be great, but harassing them back out of lane so they're getting less experience and not getting farm is also super good. Anyway, Maledict's a nice skill. And the other nice thing about it is that they take more damage the more damage they're taking from Maledict, so it's good to drop early and then follow up with other stuff, or oh my god, Inner Nature's Prophet's just having a bad time. He's having a real bad time. Second neutral, killed him. He might not be terribly experienced at jungling, and I'm not saying I'm very good at jungling myself, so it's no judgment there, but I've had those experiences, man, and it's brutal. So poor Nature's Prophet's having a bad time on the other team. Okay, fine. Maledict is good to drop early in a fight. It's kind of short range, and it doesn't have a very big area of effect, and its cooldown is super long, 35 seconds. It never gets better. The mana cost never changes either. Basically, just the damage increases. It can be hard to land this, but it's pretty useful when you do. Boom, another Paralyzing Cask, but Tiny's got a stun, so he's able to survive just barely with that stun. Nicely played by him.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Your ultimate is Death Ward, and this is the pub stomper. People can legitimately have a bad time against this if they don't have a way of shutting you down or stunning you. This is a channeled ability. What that means, because I didn't know this when I first started playing the game, is that when you cast it, you stand there and do nothing but like have an animation, right? As long as you're casting it.
Difficulties.
It's an 8-second. It's similar to what happens like when Crystal Maiden drops her ult. Here comes Huskar trying to game with his heist rune, and he's not going to
Top
be able
is
to do jack.
missing.
He might have been able to go on me there, to be honest, but I think that we scared them off pretty good, so they didn't want to try to dive, even though he had a haste. So, Death Ward is channeled, which means if
The
you
Dire
move,
might want to mine their top tower.
or if you get stunned, or if you get used, or something like that during
Dire's
your
top
channel,
tower,
it cancels
you know
it.
the drill.
So you got to be kind of careful with that, because
look
you
at it
can
go.
cancel your Death Ward prematurely, and that is bad news. It also means that your character's not doing anything, like moving away from the fight. So if you drop it and you're close to a bunch of damage, you're just going to die. But it deals insane amounts of damage. It attacks every 0.25 seconds, which means at first level, every second it's dealing, let's do math, 360 damage a second. It attacks enemy heroes, so it picks a hero, and there's no way to choose it, right? It's like, I think, the nearest hero, there's some algorithm for it. And it shoots at them until it loses range, or until that hero dies, and it switches. And it will target creeps, it will target anything, I believe? No. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think it might target creeps too. But it definitely is able to deal a ton of damage really fast. The amount of damage it deals increases dramatically as you level it up. The Aghanim Scepter upgrade on this is pretty scary, because not only does it increase the damage, it also... it's not going to tell me, but it should, I think it bounces. So what happens is the Death Ward damage not only is attacking one hero, it's bouncing to any other heroes nearby. And it's just a tremendous amount of damage. Just a tremendous amount of damage, especially if you got Maledict down and stuff. I mean, you can get a lot of kills this way, or at the very least contribute heavily in a fight. Now back to the game. So since their initial gaming dive, we've basically just been harassing them around the lane.
No breaking through the Dire structures for now.
That was pretty nice. Tiny saving the Huskar again with his stun. Tiny's a good hero. I need to play him more. Maybe I'll do a Tiny video. I'm not very good with him, so he'd be a good learning the ropes. Lena's dropping Dragon Slaves. Now, Lena's been doing pretty decent. We've got one kill from the Alchemist. We've got one kill or assist from the Lena. Did I get the... What the hell? Did anybody get the kill? That's weird. I feel like she should have a kill. Anyway, whatever. Last hit's nice. So Lena's not doing great in last hits. The Alchemist is. But she's doing alright. She got 20. We're definitely way outlaning the Huskar and the Tiny, who have 8 and 2 between them by 8 minutes. Our Zeus is doing alright. Our Broodmother's not really getting much, but she's just kind of soaking up experience. That's fine. Their Sniper's not doing very well. Their Invoker's doing okay. Okay, fine. Lena's doing alright. She's dropping stuff. She's in the lane. She's got level 6. I'm almost to level 6. And as you can see, we are ahead pretty significantly in experience, about 2,000. And in gold, we are also about 2,000 gold ahead. So it's starting to add up. We've got a couple of kills, which are helping, and we've got more last hits, which is helping. And now Invoker's like trying to game on us. He's like, okay, I got a haste rune. I'm down here. I need to make something happen. But we can see him. Like, we know he's there because I got this ward up. And they do not have any wards up. Unfortunately for them. So, Invoker here is trying to back off. I mean, I'm like, alright, well, let's go into the jungle. We can take a look for him. You know, see what I'm looking at right now. Go to player perspective. Check out this Witch Doctor.
Dire's mid tower's having technical difficulties.
We kind of were figuring that, you know, they're there. We didn't want to... It's a tricky thing, right? Like, you try to start a fight, but with 3 heroes, and we're pretty... Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then the Zeusult starts coming down. Zeusult. So with 3 heroes on the bottom lane, and just the 2 of us, and we're both pretty squishy. You know, I've got the Gauntlet of Strength to help my HP a little bit, but, you know, Lena's still pretty squishy, too. Oh, we get a Paralyzing Cask, we get a stun. The other nice thing about it, I managed to get a Maledict down, which I forget if this kills him or not.
Tower's getting beat down.
I'm like, oh crap, I need to run back. I'm going too deep. I'm watching the Lena. I'm going to go free kill
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
We get a throw. Ah, there it is. Lena ult. Securing kills. Gotta love that Laguna Blade. The Invoker and the Nature's Prophet both went for Midas's.
Mine their top tower.
Okay. I believe at this point I told Lena to go back to base to heal up. Yeah, that's what it looks like she's doing. And I was like, I'm going to hang down the bottom. You go back to base and heal, grab some items, etc. She's currently sitting on 2 bracers and a void stone.
Damage.
All right. Speaking of item build, so what I started with was like Tango's Salve, which as you saw was super useful. Gauntlets of Strength, bought the Courier,
thanks,
and I
Mike.
bought Observer Wards. I've been keeping up with
Radiant's
Observer
mid tower's
Wards.
coming apart.
Early on, I went ahead and got a Boots of Speed, I think, after that first kill, because I was like, hey, we got some gold, let's do it. And then I picked up Magic Stick, because, you know, Magic Stick charges are really nice. And you can
Dire's
get
top
some,
tower, you know the drill.
you know, when you upgrade it, you get
Dire's lost the top tower.
the attribute bonuses, and you get the Magic Wand. Anyway. So, early item build, the Gauntlets of Strength is nice because you can kind of build it towards a bracer, right, which you can build it towards drums, or you can build it towards an urn, which is nice because it gives you some HP regen as well as some mana regen and stuff. Like you have the when you get kills, you know, you can drop urn charges on people and regen their health, and it gives you some minor mana regeneration and some extra hit points. Okay, fine. I think ITP... Where the hell did I go? I went to the mid lane. That's right. Because I was like, maybe I can support what's going on up here. Our Broodmother's getting kills top. I let everybody know there's a haste rune there. And I didn't... This really didn't accomplish, like, anything. I was wondering whether or not we might be able to gank the Invoker because he was kind of low. But the Alchemist was kind of running back. And realistically, I don't think much happened. But I do manage to get the cask out. I'm super low on mana though. Actually, I was wrong. We did manage to get a kill on that guy. I forgot. So that's good. Generally speaking, when you're rotating and you're going to different lanes,
their structures.
especially and Lena gets a kill on the poor Nature's Prophet, who's having a real bad time. And as you can see, they're having a real bad time, friends. It's 10-1 inside 13 minutes. It is. They're having a bad time. I've got 1,000 gold to spend.
Mine their top tower.
I've dropped a ward up here and a ward here. I believe some other... Yeah, and there were other people buying wards too. Because they wanted more wards than I was putting down. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with buying wards if you want vision yourself. I mean,
Dire's
150
mid
gold
tower
can
is
be...
having technical difficulties.
If it prevents you from dying or if it gets you a kill, it's definitely worth the investment. So never be afraid to buy wards if you think it's going to be useful or if you have a good place to put them. Yes, your supports should be doing that, but sometimes, even when they know they should be doing that, it's not always easy to do. Here we go, dropping a cast, dropping a maledict, and see, there you go. That is a perfect example of what happens when you drop a death ward in the wrong time.
How about that?
So I dropped my death ward hoping to get a couple of kills there, but we got the Rombo combo from the Invoker. He tornadoes me, totally cancels the ult, drops the giant meatball. I take a ton of damage and have to run back, and we do not get much there. Zeus dropping ults, getting all kinds of damage down on the team, but not getting any kills, but that's fine. We know where they are. We know there's 4 coming mid, and we're all hanging around waiting to make something happen. Okie dokie. So my ult's on cooldown for another 40 seconds, so I'm not dropping that. I'm really low on health, so this is really risky for me to be hanging around here, but I figure I've got enough mana, I can at least drop a cask and try to make something happen. I didn't want to just abandon this, not when they were looking to push mid. Okay, Huskar jumps in, jumps on the Zeus, tons of damage on the Zeus. I drop Maledict. We get a stun down, we get another stun down, paralyzing cask dropping, Lena dropping Light Strike Array, and I'm like, I'll chase the Tiny. Oh, I shouldn't chase the Tiny. I have like 97 health, and the Sniper
Dire's
gets the
top
kill.
tower's getting beat down.
Because Sniper's super cheap and I was gaming a little too hard. I forgot they had a Sniper. And Sniper has
Dire's top
super long
tower,
range on Assassinate.
you know the
So,
drill.
so as long as he's got any kind of vision, he can target you with it, you're a goner. Especially when you're that low as a support. So in that circumstance, I probably should have backed off a little earlier, potentially. You know, right before, instead of chasing the Tiny up here, I might have just been able to
Dire's
turn and
bottom
run back
tower's
towards
getting
base.
the business.
Meanwhile, our Alchemist is split pushing the bottom here. Broodmother's doing her best to push in the top lane up top.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
And Dire's bottom
The
tower
Dire
gets
gave
killed
up
by
the bottom
the
tower.
Alchemist. And there we go. So, Hidden Shinobi here, our Lena hasn't upgraded her items much. She's got a magic wand. But, you know, still chilling on her bracers, looking to buy something. I'm not really sure what she's going for. I forget
The
what she's going
Dire
for.
best do something about that bottom tower.
I, in the meantime, have bought the urn and I'm sitting on some gold. Alchemist is chilling out. He's pushed in the bottom pretty good. Sniper's trying to go, and all of a sudden, here's an Invoker again. And it's like, well, do we go on the Invoker? The nice thing about Paralyzing Cast too, when you prepare with somebody like Alina, if you guys are good and coordinated, which can be hard to do, but if you drop the cask and she immediately follows up with a Light Strike away, it's a pretty great way for her to land her stun, which ordinarily is pretty hard to land. And this way you can guarantee a good amount of time for stun, especially if the cask bounces back at some point. It's not a bad way to go, set up some kills for her, set up a lot of damage from her, and you get some more damage coming out from your cask and everything else. So it's a decent laning combo there, as long as Alina's not playing like a strict support, but is going for like a roaming ganker build, or even a carry. I mean, Alina can be played as a carry. I don't think she's the hardest carry in the game by any stretch.
Someone's having technical difficulties.
And then the Tiny disconnected. Now, I'm pretty sure our team was assuming that the Tiny had just disconnected, like, rage quit, and I forget whether or not he comes back. I forget. I wasn't sure.
Tower's getting beat down.
But as you can see, I mean, this game is not going well for the enemy team. I've been basically harassing my lane. I have been leveling up. And this is the build I like to go. I like to max Cask first, then Maledict, and then obviously Death Ward as much as possible, and then go into Voodoo Restoration. Because like I said, once you get a little bit more levels and some items, your mana pool is a lot higher, so you can sustain the Voodoo Restoration better.
The Dire couldn't
Cask
hang on
goes
to that
down, we
mid-tower.
get tornadoed, but it's all good. Nature's Prophet ulti doesn't accomplish much, but reveals where we are. Zeus drops an ult, which reveals them, but doesn't deal any kills or deal a ton of damage. Okay, fine. And we're going to go on the Invoker. Lena's coming in, and Lena gets a kill! I drop a cask for no reason there. I have a bad habit every once in a while doing that, where like I'll drop cask on creeps and stuff to try to, like, you know, clear out a lane, or I do that with several supports where I probably shouldn't, where I'm wasting mana on that. Oh yeah, and then our Alchemist is like, we should report the Tiny for DCing. I'm like, why? Maybe he's coming back, and like, we're on the winning team. Why are we reporting him? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a certain mentality that makes sense to be sort of like, hey, disconnecting ruins it for everybody to some extent. But I always just kind of roll my eyes when I see people say stuff like that. It's like, whatever, man. There could be any number of reasons why that had to happen. Back to the game at hand. I've got wards on the courier. I've got a ton of gold. I'm not really sure what to get. Now, I could get something like a mech.
That's 4 in a row.
An item I really like on supports lately is
having technical difficulties.
is Yule Scepter or Drum of Endurance. Drum of Endurance is great. I really like it.
Guess what's happening
On practically anybody, because you get a lot out of it. You get attributes, you get mana regen, you get an active ability where you can give everybody around you, including yourself, speed.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
And we were just split pushing them down. This is kind of a massacre at this point. I'm chasing the Invoker for some reason. Oh, right, because Zeus is there. So we chase the Invoker. Zeus drops his ult, but it's not going to be enough to really do much. Alchemist has a basher. I take a tower hit, and I'm like, holy crap, there's like a million spiderlings here. So Alchemist gets that tower. We're killing the... And let me know in the comments if, like, the announcer is too loud while I'm talking, because I'm worried it might be. But anyway, back to the game. So I saw a whole bunch of spiderlings up here, and I was like, alright, let's just, while we're up here, let's go ahead and really try to push, get some damage on this tower. In we go. Lena's dropping some spells. Another tornado comes out. I've taken a ton of damage, and I'm like, I gotta back off. I Urn charge. Oh man, that was close. If he'd been a little higher level, that might have been real bad for us. Meanwhile, Lena comes down here, gets a kill.
Put me out.
And then I die as well, but we get a couple of we get our cast back and forth. If somebody else had been there, or if Lena hadn't died, we might have been able to get that kill.
Mid tower could use a little help.
And I get a kill on the sniper. See, Maledict really can add up a lot in damage, and is scarier than it looks like it should be.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
Meanwhile, our Alchemist is sitting here on a Maelstrom and a Basher and a Shadow Blade. There's an Orchid on the Broodmother. The Lena has gone ahead and bought a Desolator. I forgot she bought a Desolator. Oh man, it's like, well, we're super far ahead. It's 20 minutes in. I'm buy a Desolator. It's like, it's not a bad buy. Like, it helps pushing, you know? Gets that minus armor on the towers. I started going for Yule Scepter. Force Staff is the other good one to get on supports. I haven't even upgraded boots. Now, upgrading boots, I go back and forth. It sort of depends. It depends on how you're doing. Upgrading boots is usually a pretty cost-efficient way to get some
The Dire
some
best
goodness.
do something about that bottom tower.
I get my Yule Scepter, which gives me extra movement speed. You can get Tranquils. Tranquils can be nice for the HP regen and for the armor, but of course, as soon as you attack, it cancels it for a long cooldown, like 13 seconds. But they're not a bad way to go for a support in general, unless you're like roaming and ganking and doing lots of right clicks. But if you're playing hard support, not a bad way to go. Not the greatest item, and that's one of the reasons I skipped it this time. I was like, they recommend phase boots on Witch Doctor, which isn't bad either. Can help you for ganking and moving around. Treads, I don't know about treads. You can tread switch with it and get some attack speed. They're not bad either, but what I wanted to do was go for some of my more support items, like the Urn, the Yules. Yules gives you a bunch of intelligence and mana regen and movement speed, and it's pretty cheap for what it does. Here comes the Rombo combo. I dropped my Death Ward for I think the second or maybe third time this game, and it kills one person. Probably not the best time to drop it, but whatever. We secure a kill, no problem. Pushing out the lane.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
I'm trying to figure out. I think I was trying to drop a Observer Ward up here just so we could see some stuff. Alchemist taking a bunch of damage, but he's going to take that right back up.
Could use a little help. Them Dire buildings are tough as nails for
At this point, we're split pushing all three. We were split pushing all three lanes at once. This team is having a real shit time, friends. And the Tiny still hasn't reconnected.
Oh, look at it go!
So yeah. Like I said, this
Dire's
game,
top tower,
now we can see the Voodoo Restoration. So the nice thing about that is it gives all of us some extra hit points back at the minimal cost of mana. Then I can drop an Urn Charge. And then we're basically just kind of sieging outside their base because they can't accomplish too much. I dropped a cast,
top racks is taking hits,
which accomplished very little, to be honest. This wasn't like the best Witch Doctor play ever, but it's a good example of me using some of his skills, I think.
Dire's top racks is in trouble.
Got an Observer Ward up here. The reason I placed this here is it's outside of tower vision, but it gives us vision of a big swath of their tier 3, which helps with knowing when to attack and where to gank, and targeting heroes or enemy heroes for spells and other abilities.
Dire's top racks is in trouble.
It kind of lets us know what's what. I think I just got attacked, assassinated again. We got a Huskar Gaiman charging in. He's going to get a kill, but then Alina's going to kill him. We get a mech.
Left of Dire's top rack. Somebody's on a roll.
Talk about overreacting.
Huh.
Somebody's cooking.
It looked like it.
Three
I don't
down.
think it was, though. Weird.
Hope the Dire weren't partial to that mid tower.
I'm not sure what just happened there. I also, at this point, I Urn Charged myself instead of Alina. And I remember her asking for a charge, and I was like, well, that was my bad. Like, I should have done her first, because she was dealing the majority of our damage and had the Desolator to siege these towers. And this is basically GG.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
Their Tiny never reconnected. I throw out the GG because we know there's nothing. And so they decide one of them grabs the hero and begins to try to game a little bit, bring him out. And easy peasy win. Like, they tried to come in really aggressive really early. We survived. I think it threw them off. And I think their Tiny either got sick of it or probably more likely had some sort of technical difficulty and was like, you know what, it's not worth trying to jump back into this game. Like, with all the BS I'm dealing with my computer right now. But hey, they're coming out with the Tiny. Get some kills there. Alina dies. I dropped that. This is just, yeah. As you can see, the amount of damage that thing deals is frankly ridiculous. So I dropped it right at the edge of their well, and we got an ultra kill.
It's just a warm-up.
Tower's going to go down. Boots travel on Alina so she can hop back in. This is a trick I like to do too. But unfortunately, the creep died right before her TP finished. Oh well.
Dire couldn't hang on to that mid tower.
That's game. So there you go. That's a Witch Doctor game for you guys. Like I said, he's a really cool hero. He's fun. He's good at dealing a lot of damage, so he's good for ganking. He's good in fights. His cask is really nice because it gives you. Oh, I think.
The Radiant.
Oh yeah. If you guys want to see me dive in, let's see if it'll come back properly. I kind of. spited a little bit and jumped in there a little bit. No, it doesn't look like it's behaving. Well, in any event, Witch Doctor's a nice hero. Like, he's good at what he does. He can be played nicely as a support. Here we go. He can be played as a support pretty effectively. He can gank. He can roam a little bit. He helps out in team fights. He can be fairly sturdy, and he can be real dangerous with his Death Ward. So he's fun. Give him a try if you haven't already. And here's this thing, that's Death Ward is the ultra kill. And as you can see, I come back, she buys the thing, and then I decided that I'd be cute and come over here, feeling real brave, I guess.
It's sundown.
And I was like, let's do something. Here's the assassinate, and I was like, oh wait, there's too much damage, and I just died instantly.
The Radiant done it.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, still super fragile. 25-minute win means you don't have a ton of farm, so you're still super fragile, and a couple of shots are going to kill you after assassinate. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that replay. As always, if you want to leave comments or think you have any suggestions about the videos or who I should play next, or any item build suggestions, anything like that, go ahead and throw them in the YouTube comments below the video. Also, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Captain Jandor, and on the Twitters at Captain Jandor. And I hope you guys have a lovely Valentine's Day, which is when I'm recording this, and I will catch you all next time.